Hi, welcome to More Light TV. I remain your host, More. Today we are going to be looking at Buhari's scorecard, Buhari's report card, his performance assessment. Please, let's quickly look at it in a jiffy. Now, many sycophants have been applauding Buhari that Buhari has done well. As a matter of fact, quite a number of selfish politicians, so to speak, are applauding, clapping for Buhari, that Buhari has done really well. But do Nigerians agree with the fact that Buhari has done well? Please, let's quickly take a quick look at all the sectors in Nigeria. Let's start with the educational sector, because virtually all the sectors in Nigeria have suffered setback under Buhari's government. It's under Buhari's watch that university went on a strike that lasted for 8 months. I mean, 8 whooping months. I'm not sure that has ever happened before in the history of Nigeria, but for 8 months, all our universities were shut down. The students were at home, so students didn't know what to do. Their parents were tired. Even till now, as I speak, the lecturers are yet to be paid their 8 months salary. Imagine lecturers being owed 8 months salary, and the government is acting as if education doesn't matter. But can we blame them when virtually all of them, all these politicians and government officials, have their children schooling abroad? So be careless about the educational sector in Nigeria. It's also under Buhari's watch that our boarding schools, became a nightmare. People are scared to put their children in boarding school because there is no security there. The terrorists go there, kidnapping our children, taking our children, and nothing is being done by the government. That's why the father is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. I don't know how all these security issues are flying under his watch without being addressed. I mean, that is another area. I mean, under his watch, insecurity has gotten worse. It has gotten worse. When we look at the security aspect of the economy, nowhere is secure. The kidnapping rate has increased. Social vices has increased, which tells us that the level of poverty in the land has deepened, because when the people are hungry is when they don't have something to eat that they take to social vices, especially if they are not morally strong internally. Now let's look at the economy. It's under Buhari's watch that we have countless number of fuel scarcity. People were looking for fuel. Even if you had your money, there was no fuel to buy. There were long queues at filling stations. It was during his regime we heard of oil bunkering, oil theft. People were stealing oil, in thousands and thousands of barrels. It's under his watch, under his administration. Also had fuel prices being increased over and over again in the midst of the pandemic. What the government could use to comfort the people as a succor was to throw at them fuel increment. Even diesel was increased. I learned now diesel is as high as 900 naira per liter, and I'm wondering what under his watch. Under his watch, even aviation fuel, the jet fuel increased. The airlines are struggling more than ever before. Most of the international airlines have left Nigeria because they can no longer see themselves profiting from doing business in Nigeria. Even our own domestic flights have suffered a lot of setback. Look at Dana Airline. For some time they couldn't fly. Now I learned they are going to be flying again. Some other airlines like that suffered a lot of setback under Buhari's administration. We don't even have any airline. We don't have any national airline under his administration, despite all his trillions and trillions of budget. This is the first administration that I see budgeting in trillions, and I mean in tens of trillions. Now his budget is running into 20 trillions. So with all the trillions of naira, Oga Buhari, with all the trillions of naira, please, how have you been able to eradicate poverty? How have you been able to bring many Nigerians out of poverty? As a matter of fact, your administration has thrown more Nigerians into poverty, despite all your trillions and trillions naira of budget that you do every year. And it is in this administration that I see the government throwing money at problems. They keep throwing money at problems, not minding that the people they have put at the helm of affairs are incompetent people. They cannot do the job. Why are you throwing money at a problem that the people you have put in charge are not competent to address? You don't solve a problem by throwing money at it. But that is what Buhari's government was doing. They kept throwing money at the problem. It was under his regime that taxes increased. Imagine VAT increased from 5% to 7.5%. Now I'm someone that I don't mind if taxes are increased, so long I see the social infrastructure and the welfare and the social welfare you are providing to the people. If I can see the good roads, the good hospitals, the good schools, and all the things you are using the tax monies for, then I wouldn't mind paying more. In developed countries that have paying high taxes or more taxes, go and check them out. You will find out that they have good roads network, they have good schools. As a matter of fact, in some developed countries such as in the United States and even in Britain or in Europe, at the primary level, schools are free. They are free. The children go to school for free. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. As a matter of fact, if a parent does not have money to send their children to private school, their children cannot get good quality education because all the government schools are whacked. I mean, what other sector again should we look at? Is it the healthcare sector? It's under Buhari's government that the doctors went on strike upon strike. They had so much strike that majority of our good doctors have fled the country. I mean, it was under his word that the brain drain of doctors, of young people increased. I mean, the brain drain in the last 4 to 5 years, in the last 8 years of Buhari's administration has been astronomical. People have fled the country. They've left the country because they can't see any future anymore in Nigeria. Let's take a look at the agricultural sector. It's under Buhari's watch that food shortage is looming currently in our faces because the agricultural sector too has suffered setback. I remember before Buhari came into government, at least we had food. The farmers could farm easily on their farms. They could move their crops down to different cities, to different states and different places. But immediately Buhari took over the government, farmer elders crisis ravaged almost the whole country. Farmer elders crisis, the farmers and the herdsmen started fighting. I mean, from there the terrorists, the bandits, the kidnappers, took over the farms and the lands of these farmers that they can no longer cram. Imagine farmers going to farm and going to their farm and they are being kidnapped, they are being shot, herdsmen shoot at them, their crops are being used for herdsmen food. A lot happened to the farmer and they fled their farms and now no one is farming. That's why food is expensive. And this man went to shut down the border again, thinking that is the solution. But despite he has shut down the border, I can't see what Nigerians are producing. The farmers are no longer producing. And with this current flooding that happened, I can't see how production can happen. Look at Benue, look at Bayelsa, look at Jigawa, look at all the states that were affected. I'm sure there will be farmers in those areas. I'm sure their crops and their farms would have been swept away by the flooding. Look at the state of our roads. They are in a deplorable state. Even though government keep throwing monies at our roads, saying they are doing one road project or the other, we cannot see these roads. Some of these roads are still dead trap. Even if you are beautifying road, redesigning road, and the road is not safe, because of what use is building those roads. And it is under this Buhari's government that insecurity has been heightened. We cannot travel by road. Kaduna Abuja expressway has become a death trap. People are scared to travel by road and to go by air. I mean, the cost of flying now has increased under Buhari's word. I understand that to fly domestically you must have at least 150,000 for your return ticket. What? I remember in those days before his administration we used to fly for 25,000, 30,000, but all of a sudden Look at this. So those are applauding and clapping for Buhari. I don't know what they are clapping for. Look at our exchange rate. Before he came in, we were still doing we were still exchanging naira to dollars at maybe 160, 180. Immediately he came in, look at what the rate is doing at 890. So excuse me, who are those applauding the Buhari's government? The Buhari's government is the worst government I've ever seen. The Buhari's government has turned Nigeria to a woefully failed state. Nothing seems to be working right now in Nigeria. There is a lot of chaos going on. There is a lot happening. I've never seen Nigeria divided along the line of ethnicity, tribe, religion, the way we are being divided now under Buhari's regime. There were many killings of Christians by the Muslims. A lot were happening. It was under his regime that cows are said to be more important than human beings. So please, his government never benefited the people. His government only benefited some set of people that are close to power, they are close to his government. His government did not benefit the citizens directly. The citizens are worse off. They are poorer. Things are hard for them. So who are those sharing Buhari's government? Who are those nodding their heads and saying he did well? Buhari's government is the worst we have ever seen. He has failed woefully. It's also under Buhari's government that electricity tariff was increased. Electricity tariff was increased. I mean, this also happened just after people came out from the pandemic. Then other countries are helping people are helping their citizens to cushion the effect of the pandemic by giving them reliefs in so many ways. Our home government increased fuel, increased electricity tariff, and the truth is that despite all the increment in this electricity tariff, we still do not have uninterrupted power supply in Nigeria. In 2022, no uninterrupted power supply. Even internet is so slow. I can't achieve anything with the internet, no speed whatsoever. And I keep wondering, why are we clapping for this man? This man has collected so much from the people, taxed the people. His budget is in trillions, but it has not translated into any trillion development in the country. Another thing I must not forget to say is that Buhari's government has mortgaged the destiny and the future of our children, because his government took loans upon loans upon loans upon loans. Like I said earlier, it's Buhari's government that keep throwing money at problems. He took so much loans that now our expenditure is more than our revenue. The cost of servicing the loan is even more. Is almost equal to our revenue. Now, does that make sense? I've not seen, this is the worst government I've seen, that the selections of the people at the ends of affairs working with the government are poor. They are incompetent. I remember when even Jonathan was there, or Obasanjo was there, our debt was brought down drastically. But all of a sudden, when Buhari came, we went back to debt. We went back to more and more debt. And this new APC candidate that is campaigning, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is talking about loans and borrowings again, which means he too will take the part of Buhari that keeps borrowing and borrowing endlessly. Please, I want Nigerians to pay attention to all these things, because all of us cannot be foolish in Nigeria. Like some people will say, our mumu don't do. It's really enough. We need a change. We need to disrupt the political system and the political class in that country. The ruling class has to be disrupted. There is a disruption about to take place, and the citizens of the country to bring about this disruption such that these cabals holding on to power will know that the citizens are much more powerful than the cabal. That power belongs to the people really, and not to the cabal. Power belongs to the citizens now and not to the cabal. Whoever is applauding the Buhari's government lacks insight, do not know how to monitor progress. He keeps saying he's fighting corruption. Under Buhari's government, we can't see the people that is arresting. We can't see the people that is fishing out. See, almost all the politicians in Nigeria are corrupt, because before these people got into power, their net worth was no more than maybe 20 million, 30 million. But as soon as they get into power and they spend 4 years, 8 years there, these people's network will jump to hundreds of billions, both in naira and even $1 million. So you keep asking yourself, where did the money come from? And Buhari claim is going to go after the corrupt people, the corrupt official, but we've not seen him done that. So I think he has failed in so many ways. These are the ones I will just talk about, and I want to believe that there are people out there that can even add more to this list. Please, if you have more of Buhari's failure in the last 8 years, please, I want you to put in the comment section, because we would like to see it. We would like to see what is happening, because the citizens have not benefited in any way from this Buhari's government. It's the worst I've ever seen. It has driven people deeper into poverty. Now to buy bread for some people is hardship. Now beans that used to be the poor man's food and bread that used to be the poor man's food are the most expensive. Please, what is happening? And people are applauding Buhari's government. Excuse me, I think you guys should go have a rethink. Let me know in the comment section what other failures you have seen in this Buhari's government. Guess what? I'm just spreading more light.